Hi everybody, welcome to another Low on Health game video review where I go over some of the games I've been playing recently. This time around I'm going to be talking about two 360 games. The first one is going to be Mafia 2, and the second one is going to be, of course, Magna Carta 2. Ironically, yet again, both sequels to games. Let's go ahead and start out here with, what we got? With Mafia 2. Of course, I'm just going to play this in the background. Mafia 2, basically, it's your kind of open-end world game that you think it is, but it is not whatsoever. This is a very extremely linear game. If anything, it's more of a third-person shooter. I was kind of hoping for more of an open-ended world type of game where you can maybe do side missions and accumulate money and stuff. That does not happen. You don't get to level up weapons, you don't get to purchase better weapons. It's basically all there from the get-go, and it is not that great of a game. It is it's very much just... It's a game set in a sandbox world. The actual gameplay itself, the third-person shooter, I didn't enjoy that much. It's very hard to kind of swing around and get used to stuff. Driving around, you're driving old cars, and they really do feel old, and it's just not fun. And there are the cops, and if you go speeding, the cops actually will pull you over and come after you for speeding, which is kind of annoying. It is almost kind of too easy to lose the cops, though. Basically, they're line of sight cops. So if you you can hide behind like a garage and just wait for your thing to go over. I did that a couple times. This game is very cutscene heavy, a lot of cutscenes, and a lot of not good poor checkpoint system. Horrible checkpoint system, I'll say that. Basically, a lot of times, checkpoints will be too and far in between, and then a lot of times they'll be before cutscenes or parts where you have to listen to dialogue and walk really slow. And that is just extremely annoying when you die a bunch of times to have to watch the same cutscene over and over again. There's some cutscenes that are skippable, but there are a lot that aren't, that are basically like gameplay cutscenes, and those are just horrible to have to play those over and over again. As a note, this is the first game I did decide to kind of just go ahead and play on hard from the get-go, so maybe that attributed to some of my complaining about the game. Guess I'll just keep refreshing that. But another thing I didn't like, the story itself could have used some branching paths. There's a lot of just like choices you make as a character, and I'm like, well, those are stupid choices. He shouldn't make those. You should be able to do A or B. Because very quickly, once you join the Mafia family, spoilers, whatever, I don't care. It's like, don't touch the dope, don't sell drugs. And of course, 2 missions later, you're selling drugs. You're like, oh, okay, no, whatever. And they do the whole thing where the Mafia is your family before your country or your old family. And you basically go back on that. And it's just very stupid that you get to choose that. And I hated that immensely. Another thing I hated a lot about this game is I decided to go ahead and try to make some money, kind of just do extra side projects, because there are no side missions whatsoever. It's basically just find cars so you can destroy them and make money. I did that the first time, and then of course by the 3rd or 4th chapter you end up resetting and losing all your money. So that was mute. Then later on, once you come back from that, you can start gaining more money and stuff. I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. I'm saving up my money. Maybe I'll buy some car mods and stuff, because you can upgrade your cars and whatnot. And then boom, you lose all that money too. So twice in the game you lose a lot of not progress, but the money you had, because the end game part is kind of like you need to have X amount of money to pay back people, and I guess if you saved it, that wouldn't make sense. So you lose your money twice in the game, and I hated that immensely. So much. I even got to one of the final missions, and it was just not broken, but really all the game's character flaws came out, and I was like, you know what? F it. I'm not going to beat this game. I don't care anymore. It's not worth it. It's not that much of an enjoyable game. It's a big disappointment. I can easily say the first Godfather game on the PlayStation 2 was a way better product than this one. And of course, Godfather, the first game, is also available on the 360, which is also a very good game, and I recommend that game before this one. Godfather 2 on the 360, not so much. But yeah, didn't really enjoy this game that much. It maybe could have done better with some co-op, but just not that great of a game. Moving on here, I want to talk about Magna Carta for the Xbox 360. Now, Graham and Paul basically did unskippable on this, and basically I'm going to keep this here because I want to prove up a big fact. First Magna Carta wasn't that great of a game, long load times in battle sequences and stuff, and it was horrible. This one, I still couldn't get the battle system down. I didn't enjoy it that much. Your character can overheat when they do combos and stuff, and I'm like, no, I don't like that whatsoever. Maybe it's too strategic. I just didn't like it. I didn't like the aesthetic of the game. And coming up real quick, a lot of people commented on the character models, but coming up is probably the most blatantly character model thing I hated so much, and maybe just uneasy. I didn't really want to play the game after that. And it's just one of those basic super bland JRPGs, and I just couldn't get behind it. Wasn't enjoying it whatsoever, but I wanted to try it out. This is kind of part of the summer drop. But look at this. Okay, the body of maybe a 28-year-old. Look at that face. Look at that face. That's like the face of like a 9 or 12-year-old. Like, that just creeped the freaking hell out of me. Hopefully they'll show it again. If not, I'll see. Look at that. Let me see. I'm gonna pause it real quick. See, there's the body. Okay, adult body, no problem there. But then when you look at that face is just creepy. And I don't know if it's because of the art style or that certain character model, but I just couldn't get behind it. It was like haunting my gameplay, and I just couldn't take it anymore. But it's overall a bland game. You know, basic graphics. It's, you know, I just couldn't get behind the battle system. Basically, you know, you have to do combos, and it's just too bland for its own good. I recommend watching Unskippable because the Unskippable for it is quite hilarious. I'll keep playing this real quick. But couldn't really get behind it. I gave it maybe an hour, which is more time than less time than I gave any other game recently. But that's really kind of about it. That's just 2 games hiding out there that I wanted to talk about. I'm not gonna really go into any others. Hopefully, you know, I got Kingdom Hearts coming up soon, Halo coming out soon. I just kind of want to get this out of the way. So that's really about it. I'd like to thank all of you guys for watching these as always, and I will catch you next time.